Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're getting into a really interesting question.
A big one, yeah.
How do some companies just manage to stay completely out of the price war? Yeah, they're able to charge a premium simply because they are, well, who they are.
And for this deep dive, we're pulling from Marty Neumeier's fantastic, really influential book, The Brand Gap.
Right.
Our whole mission today is to pull out the 4 big principles he identifies for achieving what he calls pricing power.
The ability for customers to choose you for who you are, not just because you're the cheapest option.
Exactly. It's about loyalty and feeling.
And what's so great about this material is how fast it blows up the traditional idea of what a brand even is. If you're thinking, logo, tagline, that kind of thing, you're already on the wrong track.
Right, because his core argument, the nugget right at the start, is that your brand is absolutely not what you say it is.
So what is it?
It's what your customers think and, maybe more importantly, feel about you when you're not in the room. It's their gut feeling, that instant unconscious reaction. That is your brand.
Wow. Okay, so that changes everything. It moves branding out of the graphic design department, and it puts it somewhere closer to psychology.
Well, relationship management, yeah. And if you're running a business, that's a huge shift because you might realize you've been pouring money into all the wrong things.
You've been focused on the surface.
The surface, exactly. And that's the central mistake that leads to what Neumeier calls the brand gap.
Okay, the brand gap.
It's the distance between 2 worlds inside a company. There's strategy, so logic, data, planning, the left brain.
And on the other side.
Creativity, intuition, magic, vision, the right brain.
And if you're only on the strategy side, you end up being, competent but forgettable?
Totally forgettable. But
Wow.
if you're all creativity, you might be memorable, sure, but you're probably just unprofitable chaos.
So this whole deep dive is about bridging that gap.
That's the engine for pricing power. And it brings us right to his first principle, which is the foundation for all of it.
The brand is the customer's gut feeling.
That's it.
That feels like such a reality check. I think, most people have worked at a company with the glossy brand guidelines, the mission statements.
And they think that's the brand.
Right. They think the binder on the shelf is the brand.
And it absolutely is not.
Yeah.
The truth is, you can influence your brand, but you cannot directly control it.
Because it exists in the customer's mind.
Solely in the customer's mind. Your control it ends the moment they interact with you. Everything you do is a signal that forms that feeling.
So if I'm, say, a huge retailer, and I spend millions on a new logo and store design, but the experience of actually returning an item is still a total nightmare.
Then their gut feeling is unreliable or difficult.
And all that expensive design is basically worthless.
It's a veneer. Neumeier really hammers this point. Companies make a critical mistake investing in surfaces while ignoring the substance underneath. The brand's strength is just a direct reflection of that positive feeling you create.
Okay, but let's get practical. How does a massive company, a billion-dollar company, actually measure something as fuzzy as a gut feeling?
That's a fair question. And it's where the strategy side has to meet this new reality. You measure it by its outcomes.
Like what?
Retention rates.
Yeah.
Willingness to pay more, that's the pricing power. And maybe the most important one, unsolicited advocacy.
When people recommend you without being prompted.
Yes. When they do that, you know you've earned trust. And trust is an emotion. That's how you measure the feeling.
The coffee shop example from the book makes it so clear.
It's perfect.
So you have one shop spends 20 grand on the perfect aesthetic, designer furniture, great Instagram feed.
It's amazing.
But the barista doesn't care. The coffee's inconsistent.
And the customer's gut feeling, despite all that beauty, is just disappointing. They won't come back. The brand is weak.
Then you have the other place. The design is whatever, it's basic. Simple logo.
But the staff knows your name. They remember you're allergic to almonds. The service is fast and friendly every single time.
The feeling there is totally different. This is my place.
They get me. They care. That feeling, that emotional connection, that is a premium brand. It proves that no amount of polish can fix a broken experience.
Right, because the experience is the brand. The design should just be a reflection of that great experience.
Exactly.
So, okay, once you accept that the brand lives in the customer's head, the next challenge is actually building a company that can deliver on that. And that leads us right back to that gap you mentioned. Principle 2, bridging the gap.
This is where the internal battle usually happens. You've got the strategy people, the analysts, the planners.
All logic, all spreadsheets, ROI.
And then you've got the creativity people.
Yeah.
The designers, the storytellers, the innovators.
All intuition, beauty, big ideas.
And the real danger isn't just that they work separately, it's that they often actively fight each other. They have different goals, different metrics for success.
Right. One is measuring success in dollars and cents. The other is measuring it in, I don't know, emotional impact.
Exactly. And when they're isolated, you get failures. Strategy alone is just an efficient product nobody remembers. Creativity alone is a beautiful art project that goes bankrupt.
So the goal is synergy.
Synergy, yes. Strategy's job is to figure out where to play. What's the market? What's the real problem we can solve?
And creativity's job is to figure out how to win in that space.
How to be different in a way that matters. How to connect.
Let's use the meal delivery service example. A strategy-only approach looks at the data and says, busy people need food.
And their solution is just another generic, efficient, cheap meal service. It's invisible.
A creativity-only approach might design, beautiful, sustainable packaging and gourmet food.
But they target everyone, the pricing is all over the place, and the business model makes no sense. It looks great, but it fails.
But when they bridge that gap,
That's where the magic happens. Strategy finds a super specific, high-value niche, working parents with picky kids who hate cooking.
that's the where to play. It's incredibly specific.
Then creativity comes in and builds the entire brand experience around solving that one single painful problem. The messaging is all about, we get it. Dinner time is chaos. We can fix it.
That's a powerful, focused brand.
It's synergy. And that idea flows right into the next principle, which is actually principle 4. That innovation doesn't just happen on one side or the other.
It happens in the gap itself.
Yes. The brand gap isn't a problem to be solved. It's the fertile ground where breakthroughs happen.
So you need both. You need the strategic insight to know where the real problem is.
And you need the creative thinking to imagine a totally new way to solve it.
The example of sauce onboarding is perfect for this.
Yeah, walk us through it.
Okay, so the strategy team analyzes the data. They see a huge number of users, say 60%, are signing up and then abandoning the product during the setup process.
It's confusing. It's a friction point. That's the strategic insight.
Right. The old way to fix that would just be, write clear instructions.
A very logical, very strategic, and very boring solution.
But when they take that data to the creative team, the question changes. It's not, how do we explain this better? It's,
how do we make this process feel engaging and fun and not like work at all?
and the creative solution is to gamify it.
Exactly. Turn the boring steps into challenges, add rewards, make it feel like progress.
And that breakthrough solution, the gamified onboarding, is so much more effective at keeping users. It's both fun and it's strategically sound.
And it could never have been invented by just the strategy team or just the creative team working alone.
You had to force that collision.
You do. You have to stop the internal war between logic and magic to create that external power.
Okay, so we've got our organization working in synergy. Now the challenge is to protect what you've built. And that brings us to principle 3, which for a lot of businesses is. This is the hardest one to swallow.
It really is. It's the power of focus, which really means the power of saying no.
It requires so much discipline.
Immense discipline. Neumeier is so clear on this. To define what you are, you absolutely must define what you are not.
And the most powerful way to do that is just to say no.
But why is that so hard? In business, you're taught to chase growth, to say yes to new opportunities.
Because of something he calls the dilution trap.
The dilution trap.
Every time you say yes to something that's a little outside your core, a new feature, a new market, copying a competitor, you dilute your brand. You blur your identity.
Will confuse the customer. They're left wondering, so what do you guys actually do again?
You become a generalist. And when you're a generalist, you have to compete on price.
But when a business has the courage, the discipline to say no to almost everything, the brand becomes crystal clear.
Think about Apple.
The classic example.
Right.
They became the most valuable company in the world, not by adding products, but by removing them. By focusing relentlessly on just a few things and making them perfect.
They said no far more often than they said yes.
And that focus creates incredible power. Let's take an online course business.
Sure.
If you offer courses on marketing and sales and accounting and time management, you're nobody's first choice. You're just an option.
But if you make the strategic decision to say, we only teach advanced email marketing for e-commerce stores,
and you turn down every other opportunity.
you instantly become the expert, the obvious choice for that one specific thing.
And when you're the obvious choice, the expert, people don't ask if you're cheaper. They ask if you can solve their problem. Your focus gives them certainty.
And that certainty is what allows you to charge a premium. That's pricing power.
Right. You sacrifice a bunch of small, messy, short-term opportunities for massive, concentrated brand power in the long run. It's about clarity.
Okay, so let's put it all together. To get that pricing power, first, you have to accept that your brand is just a feeling in your customer's gut. Second, you have to bridge the gap between strategy and creativity to drive real innovation.
And third, you have to have the discipline to say no and stay ruthlessly focused.
It really reframes the whole idea of branding. It's not a line item in the marketing budget anymore.
No, it's an organizational design principle. It's about how your company is built and how it behaves.
And the best part is, you can start this right now. You don't need a huge budget. We can actually give you a quick action plan pulled right from the book.
Yeah, let's do it. A little brand checkup.
Okay, first step, grab a pen. Write down 3 words that your customers would actually use to describe the feeling of interacting with you. And be honest.
Not what you want them to say, what they actually would say.
Second, look at those words. Are they the words you want?
Third, and this is the important one, identify one single change you could make to the actual customer experience, not the marketing, not the design, that would create a better feeling.
And fourth, just as a reminder for yourself, put a sticky note on your monitor that says, "My brand is not my logo. My brand is their feeling."
Just that little reminder forces you to focus on the substance, on the experience.
It's a huge shift. Neumeier really forced the two sides to meet. Logic and magic have to work together.
It's not a departmental function anymore. It's an all-hands-on-deck organizational mission.
And if you can internalize this, that bridging the gap, that ruthless focus, that creating feelings is what drives value, you're not just set up for growth. You're set up for sustainable premium growth.
So here's the provocative thought for you to take away this week. If your brand is truly just a feeling in your customer's mind, then your quarterly profits are directly tied to an emotion.
Wow.
So the real question is this. Are you brave enough to kill a successful product or profitable feature today just to make that feeling more powerful and crystal clear tomorrow?
That's the challenge. Start today. Define the feeling you want to create, and then be brave enough to say no to everything else.